If you think it's okay for a politician to say, I'm number one in the polls, so I don't have to debate, you're a dumbass.
Middle MAGA.
I want to challenge Trump supporters again. This time it's going to be about the debate. I'm going to have to reiterate this, and it's very important. It's the same as the Nikki Haley stuff. Trump, you let me know, is it possible that Nikki Haley would be your VP pick? You need to answer that question right now. It shouldn't be a hard question to answer. MAGA should be bringing that to the influencers, Jack Posobiec, DC Drano. Bruh, go holler ALX, Brucevic, all of them. Go holler at your boy, and the answer when you come back to me better be no on Nikki Haley. But here it is. Megyn Kelly says, I keep hope alive. Trump will appear at this week's GOP debate. So we're hoping that a politician shows up to a debate? When did they start doing that? Where we start doing that at? That's all a politician does at this point. There's nothing else that a politician does. Campaign and debate. I mean, that's because you're making your case for why you should be president. Or even if you're the front runner for president and you don't even care about the other people on the stage, you go on there and you take a flamethrower to Christopher Wray, to Jack Smith or whoever. If you're scared of a gag order or whatever, you can take your pot shots at whoever you want that's adjacent to that, or you can lay out your plan for the future. The debates are there. I mean, they're like your Super Bowl. It's almost like a football team that's like, you know what, we're the favorite. What, Michigan's number one right now. Oh, we're the favorites. Oh, Michigan's number one in the polls. So we don't have to go up against Alabama. We're number one in the college football polls. You would look at me, if I were the coach of Michigan and I said that, you would look at me like I was an asshat. What do you mean the polls told you were number one? I don't give a damn of what a poll told you. Get on the field and do your thing. In the pros, there are no polls. You can make up your own team ranking however you want, but we settle this on the field. And in politics, you can get away with saying the polls have me as number one as long as the people who are following you, and I say this respectfully, are scared, dumbasses. If you think it's okay for a politician to say, I'm number one in the polls, so I don't have to debate, you're a dumbass. I don't know what else to tell you. For the people who are tied into Trump and paid by Trump, that's what it is. I work for a company. I get a paycheck from a company. What do you want me to do? I'll have to quit if I have to say something else. If you're not on the Trump payroll and you say the polls say Trump is number one, so he doesn't have to debate, respectfully as I can, you are a dumb ass. Period. And that's what I see here. Keep hope alive. Trump will appear at this next week debate. There was no debate whether Trump was going to debate in 2016.
In Wisconsin, you're losing $2.2 billion. And when the people of Iowa found that out, I went to number one and you went down the tubes. I promise if I wanted it, I would have got it.
Jeff, for anybody on this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
That was my job, to get along with people.
But the
I didn't
simple
want
fact
to,
is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Fact is,
Jeff,
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that. Wrong. Don't make things up, Jeff. Don't
cut me off.
Come on. Don't make things up. I will get along, I think, with Putin, and we will have a much more stable world. He just doesn't have courage. There's something missing from our president. It's a terrible statement. I think it's going to haunt him absolutely. I was watching, and he said the statement, and I said, wow, I can't believe it. I think she's got a beautiful face, and I think she's a beautiful woman. I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
She
is
is
a total
absolutely the love of my life, and
mischaracterization of what
she's
I
right
said.
here, and why don't you apologize for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong. I only say this. She can't run any of my companies. I am not sitting in the United States Senate with, by the way, the worst voting record there is today. Your brother and your brother's administration gave us Barack Obama because it was such a disaster those last 3 months that Abraham Lincoln couldn't have been elected.
Why? Because he wasn't some mythical head honcho. And it was just a given. Could you imagine if in 2016 Trump said, you know what, the way this is going, the populist right movement's flowing, I'm not going to debate. I got the people. I'm good. No, that's not okay. And Megyn Kelly coming soft here. Wow. It's like Donald Trump tamed her from the 2015 interaction, I think.
Called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell. You know, how much of this do you take? I have zero respect for Megyn Kelly. I don't think she's very good at what she does. I think she's highly overrated.
He really kind of tamed her. She wasn't like a Laura Loomer, but she was more like a aggressive reporter. Now she's like, maybe Donald Trump might come to the debate. Megyn Kelly of 2015 would have eviscerated Donald Trump. But after Donald Trump got through with her in 2016, now she's like, I don't know, maybe he'll come.
The fact is, she asked me a very inappropriate question. She should really be apologizing to me. You want to know the truth.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. And I said,
Megyn Kelly says, well, geez, this is an interview. That's a tough one. I mean, if it's anything like the first three, the big winner, she's talking about the debate, will likely be Trump unless somebody manages to not land a knockout blow. You know, Nikki Haley has gone up a little thanks to her debate performances. I'm not buying that. That's all inauthentic, astroturfed nonsense. She did do okay in the debates. I think she did better than DeSantis, but that's not where this push is coming from. This push for Nikki Haley is coming from the money. She's got that cocaine money. She's got the Paul Ryan people leaving DeSantis and all that. So that's where her energy's coming from. She hasn't had any. What's her great moment? Tell me what's her great moment that you point to that kind of shifted everything for her. There is none. You know, and then Vivek went up after the first one, then went down after the next two. So now Megyn Kelly's very soft on Donald Trump and just completely, what do you mean he went down? Vivek went down after the third debate? Are you serious? That was one of the greatest debate performances we've ever seen. And DeSantis hasn't made any moves whatsoever. That is absolutely true. I mean, the Newsom debate's probably the biggest move that DeSantis made, but those debates don't really move the needle on anything. The New York Post asks Megyn Kelly, do you think Trump will be a no-show? Megyn Kelly says, I keep hope alive because the Secret Service went down there and was checking out the venue. And there's only one man they would do that for. But his team is saying no. Look, he's winning so far by not showing. I'm not exactly sure why he would do anything to change his strategy. No, there's no reason for if the people don't demand it. Having said all that, I know he loves Alabama. I think he knows the two of us together would get a lot of eyeballs, and he enjoys that too. She's right. He knows that Trump and Kelly, that dynamic, but if Trump were going to do it, he would have already announced to build up to it, in my opinion. He's not going to go WWE and just come out of the rafters or whatever. I understand why he's not doing it. Just look at the polls. I'm not blind. I see what he sees. He's not doing it because of the polls. He's not doing it because the people aren't pushing him to do it. So it's not really about the polls. It doesn't matter where the polls are. If the people were like, Trump, you've got to go do this or we're not voting for you, then he would do it. He's just using the polls to make sure the people don't make him go to a debate, which famously he doesn't like who likes preparing for a debate. It's a lot of work. However, it is not acceptable that we could wind up electing someone as president or re-electing someone as president who's never sat for a debate. And she's based here. At this rate, if Trump becomes the nominee, I have very little belief that Joe Biden will debate him. I agree. There's no chance Joe Biden would debate Donald Trump. Everybody's already in their sides. The people, Joe Biden's people aren't going to demand it. Trump's people aren't going to demand it. So there's no one who's going to have the energy to demand. Independents probably won't even demand it. So as much as I would hate it, if people aren't going to demand these guys debate, then what am I going to do? I don't think Joe Biden is capable of debating him. Yeah, it just wouldn't make any sense. I think Joe Biden will say, I'm not debating an insurrectionist, just like Katie, what's her name? Why am I blanking out on Hobbs, Katie Hobbs? I think Joe Biden will say, I'm not debating an insurrectionist or I'm not debating someone who's accused of or a convicted felon. She's absolutely right. That's exactly how it would go. And I'm sorry that I have to keep, I am sorry, seriously, that I have to keep bringing that up. And every time there's a debate, if he's not going to debate, I will bring it up every single time. It's just unacceptable.
Middle MAGA.